You know, since the psychos are all just basically the same body type, a different colour, I'm guessing what you could do is just buy a lot of the blue ones and then customise them by painting just sort of like the different coloured armour pieces, like the chest piece and then the head cross piece. If you knew how to do customisations, which is what I might do in order to make a green one with the spare blue one that I have. So that would be an interesting process. And again, there's sort of this embossed number here. And it is sealed at the sides this time with rectangular tape. Thing is with these boxes though, you can often tell that they've been resealed because not only does the tape tend to peel, it also whites when it's down and tends to lift up the box as well. Like the actual image on the box tearing it. Which is good if you just want it for display, but if you want to take it back out and then back in again, that might be a bit of a pain for you. Did not want to open. This is all just a bunch of legalese and everything. Don't swallow plastic, the usual. So you can take it out like that. Just about done. And the characters are not on the back. So unnecessary, as the bird would say. Not sure why they wouldn't just do single carding uses, or do less plastic, but there you go, it is what it is. That basically, and I'm assuming the blue accessories go with the blue figure, since everything seems to be well colour coordinated. What the fuck? It's like a vacuum sealed in, it doesn't want to be free. Come on. Get out of it. Really struggling with that. I'll come back to that one in a second. This one better not be the same. Come on. Okay, this is bullshit. Neither of the heads are coming out. I'm gonna get the scissors in a second. This went out pretty easily though. Alright. Let's try and... This shit is just sort of fucking vacuum sealed in there and is not wanting to let go. There we go. Why spend 5 minutes trying to get something out when you can just snip it out with scissors? Being careful not to damage the sculpture. There we go. That's better. Didn't cut into the head, that's good. Look at that. Okay, so paint for over blue figures, still apparently not their strongest suit, and there's quite a lot of quality control issues on this one, on the blue one, what I'd like to say, so I'm just gonna start out strong with this one, which has least issues. However, I would say the stance kind of just looks like walked into your room, went to your parents, like vomited on the floor, you know, it has just that sort of stance. You know what I'm talking about. And to say with articulation, they still haven't fixed their helmets because they can only look back this far with their helmet. And then neutral, and then forwards, which would either be remedied with either just not putting the helmets so far down, because it would also allow for some tilt as well, and also put in some neck articulation. The arms can go out this far, they can go down, they can go all the way around as this part is very pliable and moves out the way, so you can still have your arm out like that. There is a bicep swivel. The arms are double jointed and go all the way back. The hands that go in the packaging hinge this far down, and then this far forwards or backwards. However, it does tend to try and pop out because of the little white cuff around there. The upper torso moves forwards this far by itself, then neutral, and then this far backwards itself, and then neutral. And as for the ab crunch by itself, it goes this far forwards, and ab crunch by itself goes this far backwards, and then all together get a really good crunch this far forwards. However, it's slightly limited by this big belt buckle here. And then altogether this far backwards. So then neutral and forwards. The legs go this far out. Honestly, I think they could go out a little bit further, especially if they had drop down. And the legs go forwards this far. And then backwards not a lot because of the sculpt. There is a thigh swivel that goes 360 degrees, and double jointed knees that don't want to go all the way, however they can. Maybe this side will do it. Yeah, there we go. And there isn't a boot swivel, I don't believe. However, these white pieces are actually separate, and you can loosen them to sort of give the illusion of a swivel. However, do be aware that if you do that, then it can end up slipping down all the time. The feet can go this far forwards, which is an eddy, and then neutral, and then backwards like this, and can also pivot like in Marvel Legends. The accessories you get is this blaster sword thing. I'm not sure what it is, I don't want to show. However, it is here and it's slightly shiny. There you go. And the head sculpt, well, I can't say if it looks like the actor or not, is photorealistic and definitely looks like a human. So it is here. And there is sculpting on the hair, which is very detailed and does look realistic. So I'd say it's very good sculpt. And there is also one lightning hand and one fist hand. And as for swapping the head out, you just twist and pull. Oh. And then, so just placing it on the peg first, and then using your palm to push down on it, or on a flat surface. And keep in mind, sometimes it doesn't click, however it does go onto the actual sculpt of the body. And here you can see, can look down this much, which is a lot more without the helmet, and only back this much. And then this is neutral, so still not much back. However, that's because of this rubber collar piece here, and also the hair down there. And now, for the long-awaited second half of the review. To first talk about articulation. As you can see, here the legs together are in a far more neutral position, or if this is one has sort of like more of an A stance, and the same thing sort of happens with the arms. Well, they're not completely neutral and are still in an A stance, and should really be engineered to have more of a relaxed neutral expression stance. The arms for these ones specifically really do not go well with more of a relaxed stance, because they're just always constantly way more out, and it is sort of noticeable. And just to talk solely about articulation for this one now, is there's a little loose there, nothing drastic. And for the head it goes back this much, and then neutral, and then forwards. So you don't get really much range there. Goes all the way around 360 degrees. There's a very minimal amount of tilt. And there is arms that can go up this high, and so you can almost get like a Y. So yeah, the arms go down this far. Again, not in a completely relaxed neutral stance, you do have to sort of swivel in the arms, which can go a kind of a funky looking pose, like funky chicken. And the arms go forwards this far. This is also with using the sort of hinge that's on the arms as well. So forwards this far, and then backwards, if we straighten out that arm, backwards this far. So you've got some excellent range there still. So it sort of has all the basic articulation that you would expect from Lightning Collection. 360 degree arm bicep swivel. There is a double jointed elbow, which goes in quite a ways. There's also a hinge that can go back this far, and then forwards this far, and also swivels. The top torso articulation is again on a ball joint, and is able to move. If I can just reset this arm real quick. Has a ball joint at the torso, which enables this much to the right, centre, and left. By itself can go forwards this much, and then neutral, and then backwards this much. The elbow articulation by itself can go neutral, and then forwards, and backwards, and that's neutral, and then all together can go forwards quite a way away. Look at that, brilliant. And can go backwards all the way as well. The legs can go out just far, and the legs can kick up this high and backwards this far, because there's a sculpt it's limited. The thigh rotation goes 360 degrees. No drop down hip. These are double jointed and aren't limited by the boot. There's also a boot swivel which goes 360 degrees. The feet articulation again is hindered with only being able to go sort of, this one's a bit stiff, however forwards this much, and then neutral, and then backwards this much, and also a pivot as well. And just to quickly explain again about the arms, you can see here they're slightly more bulkier, so when you try to cross their arms, and this is why I believe there should also be an elbow swivel here, so that you don't have to use the bicep swivel, which collides then into there, because apart from that, look, that would be fine, you know, that would be okay. However, you have to turn it with it, so they just end up looking like they're playing one potato, two potato. And with the Blue Ranger, do you think they have that kind of issue? No, they don't. So they can fold their arms slightly more easily, and you think they're like, oh, that's pretty good. However, I would say, looking at it now actually, but the arms again do still hinder it, so while you can get slightly more crossed arms, it's never going to truly be crossed because of that. So I think that's another point of engineering that they could do to improve on their figures, as well as adding the drop down hips and toe hinges. As for accessories, I'm not too sure what it is, so I'll just call it a hatchet, and it looks like this, and it's certainly here. Often placing accessories into the figure's hands is a pain. However, this seems to be okay. Either that I'm using the wrong hand, we'll see in a few minutes. There's also this kapow effect, I guess, which should be slotted into the axe. So if you take the end of the axe and look at the effects piece, there's actually just this very tiny slot, and what you do is you locate where the slot is, grab your hatchet, and you slide it on there. That's what she said. And then it can also be used for this weapon as well. And to get them to hold the weapon, the best way is to get this corner piece and then shove it into where the thumb is. And then just slide the handle in, like so. And you should be able to hold it. And the other accessories to mention is this blaster. Not sure about show accuracy, however the paint apps all seem to be where they are supposed to. Doesn't seem sloppy at all, and does have some detail on there. And it's just slotted into this holster piece here, like so. And the last accessory, 2 different hands, which is 1 karate chop and also 1 fist hand. Of them, of course, are still just hinge swivels as well. Overall, I'd say this is a fairly solid figure release. However, one point to note would be the arms, and also the paint is actually applied very cleanly on the visor area, which is good to see them paying attention to detail, because apparently that was one of the areas they were not so good at. However, the white paint, especially on the blue figures, still bleeds through quite a lot. And other paint applications, again, not applied so well in the arms. I think overall, though, I would give this figure pack a solid 8 out of 10. Because while there are some paint flaws, I did actually notice that there is actually boot articulation on the other figure, on the Psycho figure, which I didn't realise beforehand. And it's actually a little bit off camera, it's being just a little stubborn. Again, the best method is to get the peg, line it up, hold it in place, and then just use either a flat surface or the wrist where your palm is. For some reason it's either really easy or just doesn't want to go at all. So, see how this goes. There we go, finally. So then, blue with the head, this is the neutral position. If you want the head to go back, goes back quite a bit. Neutral, and then forward a little. As for side to side, they don't get much. Or really any. Again, with the sculpt, I'm not sure of the character this one is based off of, however, again, quite photorealistic. There's no paint slop on the eyes, and looks like a real human being. I think they could have added some sort of more detail to where the hair is. However, I guess it's fine for what it is. Actually, I changed my mind. I got a little bit of money off of one because I had some points to go from. So, with RRP, then no, it isn't. They should definitely be adding more detail. And for this figure, there is actually boot swivel. It was just a little bit stiff and wasn't really wanting to move. However, it is there. So I'd probably just heat that up first. And just a very quick shot for hands. Lightning with my hands. Lightning with my hands. Lightning with my hands.